What's going on, guys? I just wanted to do a video on Riot blockchain because I'm looking for plays that are potentially doing better than others, obviously, and this is one that I've been playing. I've been tracking this thing for a long time. I made a few swings on it throughout its time, but I definitely got screwed on one of these dips over here on the left. I think I bought this 200 EMA here, and it ended up faking out here and completely breaking down a lot further than I kind of expected. I think I picked some up around $18 even, honestly, at some point, and then it dipped all the way down to $16.95, and I had gotten stopped out. So that was kind of when I drew this bottom trend line here, and I just pulled it all the way across. And I mean, it ran up, came back down, and it boomed ever since, right? It broke back in here and then broke out, and it had a monster run, and I completely disregarded it for this whole run. So I missed that big time move there. And I was in on it around here in this $4 range somewhere, and I didn't know charting very much, and I was getting screwed with all this choppiness. I was getting nervous, and I didn't even know what was going on here. And if once I learned more TA and started running trend lines, and I went, holy shit, I was in on like some of these somewhere in between here. I was in, I was playing this and getting nervous, and we missed the break. So I missed a lot of opportunity here, which was unfortunate. And I've been watching it, and I look back at this chart here after a few dips that I've seen here, and this trend line that I originally had that I pulled all the way across, we've been pretty much bouncing right off it. Pretty damn, we missed it by a hair here, we broke it a little bit there, and we ran back up here. So there's a couple different things that we can watch for here. It's possible, because you see this pattern that I have it in here, it's very possible that this, depending on what Bitcoin does as well, could turn into a head and shoulders pattern and break down to this lower trend line. Or we could come up and create a monster W and blast off to a targeted move of $107 that I have here. So you can see this upper trend line I have here is at 62.36. And a break of this right here is, that's the major resistance here that we're going to be watching for. Now, you can see we got a nice bounce today, and we have some moving averages like slowly rolling over this 50, rolling over this 200, which could push us down depending on how it works out. But you can see that we had this falling wedge here that broke out, and then we flagged out, and we continued up. So if we take a look at the targeted move of this falling wedge that we have right here to see where we're potentially heading here, and I did play this breakout of this falling wedge at the moment. So I am looking for a move up into this potential level here, depending on where we hit it, $62, $63. But things can happen in this crazy stock market that we're in right now, and things can go wrong here. So right now we just got a break of this upper resistance here, and we broke up this little smaller pennant here, and we have this little spinning top here. Let's check the Ichimoku cloud. So we have a lot of resistance up here right now that we have to break through 50.59 and 51.05, and then above that we have some 200 EMAs and 50 EMAs above. So there's still a lot of resistance here depending on how we decide to move, whether this is a pennant that just broke, or if we end up creating something out of this, like maybe a descending triangle or something of the sort. We don't really know if that was the initial pattern or if we're going to create something else. So we're going to have to decide if we're going to come back down here and test this lower line at $45, or if we're going to decide to break up here. As of right now, we have this RSI in the 2 hour is rolling up here. If we look at the 1 hour time frame here, we got another nice bounce with some decent volume right here, and we just pulled above this purple Ichimoku at 49.96, which it looks like we might be holding as support right now, which would be great. Now, depending on if this was just a pennant that broke how I had it drawn originally, which is, I had this drawn in here, I believe, which right now doesn't look as good, but I don't think I went off the upper wick. I think I went off of like something like that, which, to me, it doesn't look as good now as if we maybe did this, or if we went, sorry, I got this new update that we did on this thing, and all my indicators are really fucked up, so it's kind of annoying. What did I just do? I like that other, yeah, I like this better. So even though, I probably shouldn't do this just yet, because it's just starting this candlestick here, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I might just keep that like that for now, because if we look back at the hourly, kind of looks good, but it might not be the case, so it's hard to call anything off of here. To me, it looks like it broke from this right here as of right now. Little, maybe something like that. We just had a breakout from it, and we're coming up here, but you can see all this resistance above. So, really, we could come up to this 5105 to 5140 here, but the main thing we need to do is start getting support up in this 54, 55 area here. Maybe get a daily close up there or something like that if we missed this run here. Another thing we could look at if we disregard these lines here is that this could be, let's see, if we go from these double wicks here and run this straight across, this actually could be something we're breaking out of right now, actually. If we go from these two wicks and run this across, it kind of looks like a nice pennant here, and this could be a breakout that's going on right now. We did have some nice volume, but we don't have much volume right now in this hourly here. But if we can actually confirm this is support here at 49.86 here, this could be a nice little break right here. Let's take a look at this trend line. I'm just going to base it off of this move right here and see where this could bring us up to. If this was a breakout right here, we almost are coming up to that red resistance line at 53.11. So, that's a very good possibility there. And right now, looking at the hourly, we look pretty good. We do have, bearish divergence right now in the 45-minute, but, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out here. If we look at the 4-hour, we're obviously looking like we're trying to roll right now. We did get a green-red-green formation, which is a pretty good sign here, but, we could still be inside this thing here because there's so much resistance above. Looks like the 20 EMA is going to come down and cross negative here. So we do have to be careful, obviously, but I did enter a position at 46.41 here, and I'm just going to keep my stop. I'm just going to keep my stop loss at break even here and see what happens. If Bitcoin continues up here, it's very possible that we maybe ride this red resistance line a little bit longer here until we potentially could get a break here. But obviously the safest move would be playing a breakout of a pattern, which was right here for me, the 40, 46, 41. I think I front ran it a little bit, but that breakout there, and then watching potentially for a 4-hour close with some volume up above 50.89 here. That's something that would probably be one of the safer moves. Maybe even 51.45. Look for some volume. And then if you really want to play it safe, if you don't trust these markets at all, which I don't blame you because I don't really trust them, because these things can just break out, then roll the fuck over and drop all the way down, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of where we're at right now with the way everything looks. But I'm kind of looking for maybe something to occur, which we don't really know, and anything could happen. But if we ride this here and we end up getting a break here, it could be a monster W. But it really comes down to what Bitcoin is doing. And, if we look at Bitcoin right now, we've been getting some nice breakouts here. I played a position on, I put a position in on Bitcoin at 51.5. And I also put a position on Bitcoin Cash there. But you can see here we are breaking this. We're trying to break this upper trend line here on the 4-hour, but we're starting to get into a little bit of overextended area here on the RSI. But this is an area of getting rejected a lot of times here on Bitcoin. So, you know, it's very possible that it could get a rejection somewhere in this zone here. And if it did, you know, it just would have to come down, maybe test for some support area here, depending on if, you know, because this looks like a small pennant here broke out of. So it could come back down here and hold this 57.5 potentially as support here if it does decide to roll over here. You know, and that could cause, obviously, it looks like on this hourly here, we're getting a little bit of a hanging man here. So we could come back down and flag on top of this 57.5. We'll have to see how that plays out there. There is a little bit of bearish divergence on the hourly, which could bring us down on this RSI before we potentially get a another move up here. So, you know, that's going to obviously affect Riot as well if Riot wants to continue to respect Bitcoin's movements here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it anyway. But I did want to put this out there in case, you know, Riot could come back down here, make a W here. If it did come back down in that area, the lower support right now is 47.84, and then this upper support line here is 49.86 as of right now. So we'll have to see if it continues to hold that as support, which would be very, very good, because you can see these couple wicks we've had up here, and every time we broke it, we just couldn't close any type of candles above here, really. So that's the main thing I'm watching for right now, is holding this 49.86 level as support for a little while, even if we flag out here. But if we fall back in this pattern, we could come back down here to this anywhere from 48.05 to 47.84, and then a break below that 47.50 area here, and we start closing below this. Obviously, we could come all the way back down here to $45 roughly. So, you know, there's a couple different things that could happen here still. So, but as of right now, it does look like it's trying to get bullish here, but some moving averages are a little bit nerve-wracking to me. And then looking at the daily, we have this spinning top. You know, we have a rolling over of this RSI here. So, you know, there's still a couple potential negative scenarios here, but I feel like if Bitcoin is going to continue to run here, that this thing should at least be able to potentially, doesn't have to, come up there and maybe continue following this Ichimoku cloud up to this 53.62 here, and then we'll have to decide if it's going to make a head and shoulders here, or if it's going to end up making some kind of bullish W. So, you know, I'm just putting this out here to keep an eye on Riot here on these couple levels I talked about here. If we can get some support above 54.16 roughly, and start closing some dailies or closing a couple 4 hourlies above this line and confirm as support, that's another safe area, because there's not much resistance above. Whereas of right now, where we are, we still have a lot of resistance up to about 53.50. But you know, if you wanted to play this potential breakout here, you'd want to look for you know, a 4 hourly close, which would probably be around 130 here, and we'd want to see it roughly holding this 49.84 level, which right now it looks like it might be right below it anyway. So you know, just be cautious with it, because like I said, this market's pretty wild right now, and we still have some negative things that could happen here that could push us back down to one of these two trend lines, which would be 45.02 or as low as 42.78 here. But I'm not sure how this is going to play out just yet, but I am in a position in it, and I'm going to hold my position and just keep it at stop, you know, keep it right below this 4 hour close here, 46. Well, I'm going to keep mine at 46.40 break even, but anyway, guys, that's probably a long enough video here. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. We could be getting a breakout here. It could be a fake out, so we got to be cautious. But for now, like I said, I'm watching this 49.86 area to be held as support. And yeah, good luck with your trading. I know these markets are rough right now. That's why I haven't been making too many videos as well as being busy. But you know, be cautious, use stop losses, and keep an eye on Riot here. We got a couple areas of support and resistance that I talked about, and you know, write them down and pay attention for them. But you know, the main breakout would be this 62.36 here with a targeted move of 107. But if Bitcoin decides to dump, then obviously this would be dumping as well, and then you'd probably be looking for these $30 range here. But yeah, that's all, guys. Peace.